Did you know that handcrafted accessories are not only a fashion statement, but a super fun and amazing way to express cultural identity and your individuality? Welcome to another exciting episode of Spark and Ignite Your Marketing. I'm your host, Beverly Cornell, and today we have the pleasure of introducing Tonya Cross, the founder of Accented Glory. Tonya is a pharmacist by profession, but her passion for creating unique, handcrafted fashion accessories led her to start Accented Glory over a decade ago. Specializing in cowrie, shell, and African print designs, Tonya's work has gained recognition for both its beauty and its cultural significance. Welcome, Tonya. I'm so happy to have you here.
And I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invite.
I'm so excited to learn. I love how people can come from like a pharmacist to creating jewelry. This is like the beautiful thing about being a business owner.
Definitely a leap.
Yeah, that journey is like something else. So tell me about how your business got started and what were like some of the light bulb moments for you that it wasn't supposed to be about pharmaceuticals and pharmacy. It was supposed to be about jewelry and cultural identity and individualism, which I think is amazing.
Oh my goodness. It all started from a need. I had a need. I was having a hard time finding natural hair accessories. And it was just like, my friend was like, Tonya, you know what? You've been making things all your life. Why don't you just make it? And I was like, you know what? I think I will. So I took her advice and started making it because I was having a hard time finding natural hair-friendly hair accessories.
Okay.
So that's where it all started. Yeah.
So natural hair is its own journey, period. We have been foster care parents and have had some African-American children. And I tell you what, I learned a whole lot. Like I have natural curly hair, but it's a whole nother level to take really good care of natural hair, but also to style it and to express who you are in that. And there is a whole expression in hair for the African-American community. So I think it's such an important part of that community, the different styles and what they mean. I mean, there's like just this layer upon layer of history and richness in it. I love that you went to have this beautiful. So tell me a little bit about cowrie. What's specific about cowrie and why you went that direction?
Okay. Cowrie shells have African roots. So that I think was initially my attraction because I just loved the seashell. And then once I did more research about the seashell and the history behind it, I was like, okay, now I understand my attraction. Now I understand my love for it. But the cowrie shell is the first form of money known to mankind. So what they used to do is like string the cowrie shells. So depending on how many shells was on the string, it was equivalent to a monetary value. So people would use that in exchange for products and for services. And then I learned that the cowrie shell is a gift, believed to be a gift from the African water goddess, Mami Wata. So a lot of people, there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of deity type things around the cowrie shell. And plus, because the way it looks, there's a lot of femininity as well. Yeah. And so what I got into the history of the shell and started learning more about the shell, it really resonated with me. So then creating things with it became like innate for me. It was just like a second nature for real. Yeah.
Is there a certain part of Africa where the shells are more prevalent?
No, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I don't know the answer.
Okay. I wonder if it was like East Coast, West Africa is huge. So I don't like.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. But I would assume the Western Coast because a lot of the places where I can get the shells are located there.
Okay.
So I'm just assuming that. I don't know if that's, I'm making that assumption.
Well, maybe if one of our listeners knows, they can put it in the chat and let us know. That's amazing. Okay. So about 10 years ago, you made this transition from pharmacy to doing jewelry and hair accessories and other items. Is there a favorite item that you like to make?
Oh, I think it's a favorite, but I'm going to just share. My new bag is leather.
Mm.
I just started working with leather, and the leather is handbags. The handbags have my attention now because my designs include hair accessories, jewelry designs, and handbags. Handbags have my attention, but my favorite hair accessory is my headband design for sure.
So who are your typical customers then? I'm assuming that there is a lot of diversity for sure, but who are your
It's a lot of diversity. It's a lot of diversity. One of my features, and I keep learning about the diversity of who's attracted to my designs through the features I receive and being highlighted, because one of my features was Martha Stewart's shop. Like she had the online shop where she featured Etsy finds or Amazon finds or something like that. And I was like, not my atypical. I started incorporating it into my content because I was like, this is a way for me to market to a different audience that I never really considered for my brand. And then also another feature that I had was Good Housekeeping. And it was they had featured me for mermaid costume. It was during October season, so costume season. And they featured my accessories as accessories to wear with your mermaid costume. Did not know till I dug a little deeper.
Huge.
A whole huge mermaid community. So you're aware of that too?
My brand is unicorn and mermaid inspired. It doesn't. Yes, I looked at the mermaid and unicorn kind of iconology and colors, and because they're magical creatures, and I feel like marketing magic is a real thing. So but when I went down that rabbit hole, Tonya, it was a deep one. So yes, there's a whole subculture of mermaid enthusiasts.
It really is. Okay, we definitely need to connect. I did not realize that it was a huge mermaid culture. And then someone had reached out to me, was sharing that this was pre-COVID and they host a mermaid festival. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they had said, maybe we could carry some of your designs at the gift shop where the festival is held. But unfortunately, COVID came through. So it fell through. But I was shocked at how huge that culture is.
It's fun. Yeah. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole subsect of people who are into the mermaid. And I was talking to somebody at a buying show. One of my clients had gone to a buying show and was talking to about the mermaids. And one thing that she did, she has a fully inclusive store. So she doesn't want just to see skinny mermaids. She wants all size mermaids. Mm-hmm. And so she was giving the feedback of, I want all different colors. I want different sizes. Like, it's a fully inclusive store. And they were like, no, mermaids look like this. And she was like, no, they don't just look like that. And there's a huge opportunity for you because there's a lot of other colors of hair, skin, and a body set size that want to buy a mermaid, because there's such a huge group of people who love mermaids. And so the next year she went, sure enough, they had a fully inclusive line of mermaid gear that she could put into her store. But yes, it's like, there's a whole thing for it. That's interesting. So mermaid lovers, I wonder where those people are.
Well, usually around this time of year, I start incorporating those keywords into my content.
That's great.
I'm hoping to catch some of that audience and attract some of that audience during this season. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by BC & Associates Marketing's holiday special, 20% off our Brand Spark package. As 2024 comes to a close, it's time to set your business up for an incredible 2025. With our Brand Spark service, we'll help you ignite your brand by sharpening your message, refining your visuals, and giving you the tools to stand out in a crowded market. And for a limited time, you can save 20% when you use the code ALLIN20 at checkout. This offer is only available until October 31st, 2024. So don't wait. Start the new year with a brand that's clear, compelling, and ready for growth. Whether you're struggling with unclear messaging or visuals that just don't reflect your business anymore, our Brand Spark is designed to get your brand back on track. Visit bcandassociatesmarketing.com/brand spark to book your deep dive session today and use ALLIN20, ALLIN20 at checkout to save 20% before this offer ends. Let's ignite your brand and make 2025 your most successful year yet. Even with the Little Mermaid, the live action movie that came out, there was like a resurgence of mermaid stuff, I feel like, too.
Yeah, it was. And I was pushing, promoting, and doing that because I created content around the release of the live action film. So, yeah, I took advantage of it. I did.
That's so smart. This idea of capitalizing on the trends of what's happening. During the Olympics, we did a lot of content on the Olympics, like playing on the Olympics. Like you need, from a business perspective, you need a coach, you need a team, you need like this idea of what makes a really good business and makes you an Olympic winner in the business world. We also did before the Olympics came, here are some fun Olympic themed promotions you can do if you're a small business, how to incorporate these trends that are happening into your business. And it's funny, every time we do a trend-based blog of what's actually happening and occurring, things like when the Bridgerton release happened, or Emily in Paris is this show that is about marketing. So something that all of us marketers know about. When it was released, the season was released, we've written pieces on all of those things. And it's funny how the traffic goes to those pieces. So you can find surprising ways to reach people if you capitalize on trends and what's actually happening. And I love that you're like thinking that, like, how do I take what I have with what's popular and how do I bring them together in a fun way that gets people's attention, that I exist with this amazing jewelry. So yeah, I love that so much. It's so smart, Tonya. So good.
I learned very quickly because, like we shared earlier, my background is pharmacy. So I learned very quickly if I was going to be successful at this handcrafted fashion accessory business, I needed to learn about marketing, and for sure, hands down, it's a must. And like you say, you got to stay up to date on it as well to know what's working and what's not working and what's most effective. For sure.
And you talk about that. What's working, what's not working, and what's most effective. How have, over the last 10 years, because it's been 10 years, right? You've had the business. How has your decision-making process and your strategy changed over the years? Like, how has that evolved?
The first thing that happened early was my oldest daughter was like, Mom, I need you to stop hiding behind your logo. People need to know who you are. And that was, I'm going to be honest, that was a struggle for me because at heart, a lot of people don't believe it, but at heart, I am an introvert. And I was comfortable behind my logo. And I was fine behind my logo. But I told her, okay, yes, I want to be successful, so I'm going to do it. And I did. And I started doing Facebook Lives. That's where I started. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I became.
It's temporary, right? Like, I'm an introvert, extrovert too. So for this hour, I'm an extrovert. But as soon as it's done, I'm like, oh, okay. I gotta take a break.
And look, when I do vending events, my husband, he knows me. As soon as I get home, he has my onesie, because my onesie gives me comfort. I put my onesie on. He have a glass of wine for me and some popcorn. They help me decompress and they help me to replenish.
What's the biggest marketing mistake you've made?
The biggest marketing mistake I made is not getting a coach.
There's so many people who think they can do it all themselves. And as a marketer, we want to be there for you as a guide, exactly, to help you.
As creatives, we get so caught up in the process of creating that it's difficult for us to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
about our art and about our work. And because I can give like a friend, I can give them amazing advice on marketing, how to do it and what to do, and they have success. But when it comes to myself, it's not happening.
There's something real about doing the thing for yourself versus doing the thing for your clients, your customers, whatever, taking care of what you need for your business. Recently, I heard the phrase, instead of the cobbler kids have no shoes, I want to have Louis Vuittons. That's the kind of marketing I want to have. So that has reframed how I invest in the marketing for my own company, let alone for my clients. Because if I can create a case study of doing the Louis Vuittons and the success we've had, then that this makes sense for us to talk about that with our customers. Right. So instead of, there is something to be said about that. Like, it's really hard to do for yourself. It's so easy to do for others because you are not objective. You're too close to it. You're too in it. You're in the weeds, Tonya. So yes, what you're saying is completely true. And you are not alone in this process. There's a lot of you out there who are the same way, feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's definitely hands down my biggest mistake. I wish I would have done it earlier, but timing is everything. Mm-hmm. Timing is everything. Lesson learned. Mm-hmm. And now I can give that advice to others. Just go ahead and do it. Just do it.
I did not pay Tonya to say that, just so we're all clear. This message is brought to you by Tonya Cross. So what are some of the marketing success stories you've had? Like, how I love the idea of the mermaid. I love the idea of looking at like Good Housekeeping and Martha Stewart and shifting and pivoting as you learn there was an opportunity there. Has there been one marketing tactic or strategy that's been really powerful for you in your business?
Yes. Collaboration and partnership. With that has been that cross-promoting and cross-posting. You can't, it's a win for everybody involved, especially everybody hold out their end of the deal for sure, because what you're doing, you're tapping into their audience and they're tapping into yours and just increasing your reach, your brand reach. And it's incredible when it's the right fit and the right people, it works. It really works. Yeah.
Give us an example of a partner that has worked really well for you.
Okay, this is one of my examples. I have several, but I'm gonna just share one. Okay. I partner with a synthetic wig company called Quartz de Lock. Initially, when I thought about it, I don't know. But because I had this long-term relationship with this sister duo, they started a synthetic wig company because one of the sisters is a cancer survivor. Mm. So when she was looking for a wig, she had natural hair. So it's natural, curly, kinky, coily hair. And when she was looking for a wig, all the wigs had straight hair. Mm. So she decided, okay, this is a gap, and this is a gap I'm willing to fill. So they started out with medical wigs. Then they transitioned to business to consumer wigs. So when they was looking at the mannequins, these wig mannequins, they was like, oh, the necks look naked. We need to put something on the neck. And because I already had the relationship, I already had the rapport, they reached out to me and said, hey, Tonya, what do you think about us putting some of your necklaces on our wig mannequin? I said, heck yeah, let's do this. And they said, we will include a link on our website to your online shop. So people, if they're interested in the necklaces, they can purchase from you. So this company has grown tremendously. So every time they get publicity and they sharing the photos of their wigs with my necklaces on their wigs, that's publicity for me.
Sure.
And it has been, and now look, they drive a lot of traffic. Their website drive a lot of traffic to my online shop.
That's an amazing partnership where you're not competing, but you're in a kind of a piggyback situation where you both have similar clientele. It goes together so well. There's just so much synergy in that it makes it just make sense. Like How did we not think of this beforehand?
They know if they share something, I'm going to share the heck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to repost it
Mm-hmm.
over. And that's getting them more and more publicity as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a win.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
So share the long-term vision that you have for Accented Glory. Where will you be in 10 more years?
My goal, this is my goal. My goal, I would like to be in like specialty boutique, not just any boutique. I would be very strategic in choosing which one to ensure that people really would value what I create would be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's my goal.
So my next section of the podcast is the lightning round.
Okay.
First question was going to be, are you introvert or extrovert? But we just talked about that.
I'm out there and very introvert for sure. But like I say, I know how to turn that switch on when I need to.
So the popcorn, the onesie, and the wine are the things that refuel you?
Yes, for sure.
So how have you created, I feel like when you're a business owner and you're making connections like with a synthetic wig company, how do you create and maintain those long-lasting connections as a business owner and as a person? Like, how have you nurtured those kinds of connections?
Relationship. I regularly check in on people. Just this week, I selected 10 people that I decided I'm going to reach out to them, say, hi, I'm just checking in. Are you good? And you'll be amazed. Everybody responded. You responded. And these are business connections. These aren't people that I know personally because my immediate family and circle, of course, I check on them regularly. But these are business associates. And they was like, Tonya, you just don't know how much this meant to me that you took the time to reach out to me to see if I was okay. So I make that a habit. I try to at least once a month reach out to 10 business associates and say, hey, I'm just checking in. I'm not trying, no selling, no pitching, no nothing, just checking in.
That's kind. That's just a kind thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Accented Glory had a voice, what word or emotion would resonate from its core?
The word is alignment. That's the word, because I feel like when we're in alignment, then things, the universe give us opportunity, the universe open doors, but we have to be in alignment, in agreement with the universe or whatever higher being that you believe in and support. So I'm going to say align.
If you had to look at you have a pharmacy background too, but if you looked at all the books, any of the podcasts, the videos, the trainings, the courses, maybe other business people who has left like that indelible mark on Tonya, like you live your life differently because of them. Is there one or two of those that you could share with us?
The book would be Who Owns the Ice House? And this is a book that I am currently a part of an artist cohort. And the theme of this artist cohort is to get us as artists to start thinking about business and establishing a business mindset. Because like I said earlier, we as creatives, we so caught up in the creative process that I don't want to say forget the business part, but we'd rather do the creative part and not the business part, because it's definitely something that needs to be done. And that book has really shifted my mindset as an artist in business, because it's helped me to have a business mindset when it comes to my art.
Is there any other books or a people? Has anybody else, helped inspire you?
I would say my oldest daughter has inspired me because she's not only her own business owner, but she's a mom of two littles. And just seeing her, because it's not a balance, how she prioritizes. I've learned from her that sometimes some things take priority over others because I used to seek a balance, and then I realized balance doesn't exist. It's just sometimes some things just gonna take priority over other things, and that's okay. And in that time and in that space, this is a priority right now. So this is where my focus is. So yeah, she's definitely an inspiration to me for sure, because I was like, girl, I know I'm older now and I've been there, done that, but I don't know if I could.
What kind of business does she have?
She has a consulting business where she worked with business owners and help them like map out a plan and map out a strategy or how to scale their businesses. So that's what she does. Yeah.
Is she the one that told you to be the face of the company?
Yes, that's the same one. Yes.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it.
Same one. Same one.
Do you have an unconventional tool or app that is like your secret weapon for success with your business? Like without it, you don't know how you could run it.
Definitely my Google Calendar, for sure, because I look at it daily and see what do I have today. And I set reminders to remind myself, just like for this interview, I had to set a reminder. Hey, Tonya, set this reminder so you remember you got some, because sometimes I get so caught up in what I'm doing, I lose track of time.
Oh, that's a creative soul problem. Like I'll get down a rabbit hole with video editing or something. But I think it's also part of when you love what you do. It's part of that. Like when you love what you're doing, you do lose sense of time sometimes in that. So what's your favorite quote that you tell yourself often?
I show myself grace. Show yourself grace, because I am my worst critic for sure. Beats down. And I have to remind myself, show yourself grace. And because I guess as a mom, even though all my children are adult children, so we walk in that thin line of adult and confidant, mom and confidant line. But I realized that I'm not going to always get it right. And it's okay. It is okay, because we're all humans and life is a lifelong, no pun intended, experiment for us to live and learn.
One of my favorite quotes is fail fast and fail forward. So you got to make mistakes to push yourself. You can either sit in the mistake and like wallow in the pity of I made this mistake, or okay, we don't do it that way. We figure out the next way. And so fail fast and fail forward, because like you're right. And I love the idea of giving yourself grace. I don't give myself enough grace either. I'm really free of giving grace to others, but not so much to myself. I expect a lot. One of my friends, he's a business owner, and he says, we want excellence, but not perfection. So that gives like a little bit of a breather. Like I literally want to take a deep breath on that, because I feel that like in my bones. Like excellence is important, but it's not perfection. Like 80 or 90% of what we think is great is 100% great to somebody else. Like our expectations just a little bit different. So interesting how hard we are on ourselves as business owners, but probably also it's one of the things that makes us a good business owner, because we always want to do better.
Right.
How do you stay grounded and maintain your sense of purpose and clarity in this constant, ever all changing world and life we live in?
Definitely, I practice self-care for sure. I do a weekly spiritual bath, and my husband think I didn't disappear. By the time I get out, my skin is all wrinkled. I sit in there for hours. I light a candle. I light incense. and just be, just sit and be. And to me, that replenished me every week. It just gave me an opportunity just to decompress. I don't have no intentions, nothing to think about. If something pops in my mind, fine. If nothing, don't. That's fine too. It's just an opportunity to be.
If accented glory was an animal in the animal kingdom, what creature would it be and why?
Think it would be the first creature came to mind was a cheetah. And why did that come to mind first? I would guess because they're exquisite and also fast. But that was the first.
They live primarily in Western Africa, right? Like they're
that makes sense.
So that's interesting too, from the safari standpoint.
Right.
Plus, they are adorned with patterns, and there's a lot to it. I think, Tonya.
There's a lot to it. Okay.
They even wear eyeliner. They have eyeliner on. Not really for my listeners, but when you look at them, they have beautiful eye markings that looks like eyeliner.
Yeah.
But yes, it's interesting that you pick the cheetah. A lot of people pick the cheetah for some reason. It's interesting. That's a very popular thing. Okay, so that's the end of the lightning round. And our next part is really about looking at the past and then looking forward. So when you were a kid, did you want to be a pharmacist when you grew up? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
Actually, I did. And that idea was implanted early in my education through a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I pursued it. And that's what I became. I was on that track through high school, college, and I became it. And then there was a shift, and I started to explore my creative side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you like to draw and stuff when you were little? Were you would you consider yourself artistic as a child?
Yeah, I drew. I made my own baby doll clothes because my mother is a seamstress.
Okay.
So I always known how to sew. Of course, she made sure I knew how to sew. So the creativity was always a part of my childhood. But you know how, I don't know if everybody experienced this, but we always think, what can I do? What career path can I choose that will cause me to have a secure life instead of an enjoyable life? We trying to think about security. And then I was and then once I got there and was in the profession for 30 years, I was like, this ain't really who I am. Let me explore that creative side of who I am. And I discovered that was my passion, the creative side.
This idea of a life of security versus a life of enjoyment, that is really heavy, Tonya. You think about that, the pressure of that as a child to live a life of security versus a life of enjoyment. And the fact that you have found a way to find your way back to that and in alignment with that, I think is super powerful for you and what you can create and make for yourself. If you had one pivotal piece of advice when you were 18 years old before college, that might have saved you some valuable time or resources or even headaches, what advice would you give young Tonya?
Follow your passion.
But was it your passion then?
I think because I grew up with a single mother.
Okay.
I wanted to be able to take care of her and my family. And I think that drove me more than anything, if that makes sense. That was my drive. But now that, I've done this, I've accomplished this. Now let me get back to me, what I want to do for me.
I think that so many women are in the same boat though, Tonya. I feel like so many of us put aside the things that we want as women it makes us happy because we are moms and we're wives and all the things that we have to do to make sure that other people are safe and secure and happy, that we put ourselves aside. And that at some point, hopefully, you come to the realization that's not serving me well and I need to do this other thing. But I think that so many women, I hear the story over and over again from female entrepreneurs. What do you think has been the recipe? I love to cook. What has been the recipe for your success?
My recipe for my success is number one, being a forever learner. Always open to learning something new, different, and understanding that I do not have all the answers. And it's okay to seek out those who do have the correct answers, their specialty, optimize their specialty. Number two, I've already shared this as well. Collaborations and partnerships. You do not have to go this alone. You can collaborate and partner with other people. You can do it alone, but you'll go a lot farther if you partner and collaborate with others. That would take you a lot farther. And thirdly, being genuine to who you are. Don't try to change who you are to accommodate people. If people aren't willing to receive you as you are, then they're not you.
That's the secret ingredient, is you.
Yes.
Only you can make that.
Mm-hmm.
Only you. It's like your secret ingredient. So yes, be authentically you, always, for sure.
Always.
If you had one actionable tip to give a budding entrepreneur or someone who's listening today, maybe needs that one little push to do that next thing or whatever, what is the one tip that you want someone to know or to try at the end of this podcast, that they push stop and then they go and do this thing? What would be the thing you tell them to do?
The thing that I would tell them to do, because I'm real big on relationships, figure out who within your network that you can partner with or collaborate. Because we all have a network, and just reach out to them. Take that step. Say, hey, I think you'll be a great person for me to partner with, to collaborate with. I don't really know what that looks like right now, but can we just sit down and have a conversation? Mm-hmm. Maybe we can brainstorm together and figure out what we can do and how we can help each other scale our businesses. Have that conversation.
Okay, so before we go, Tonya, share where our listeners can learn more about Accented Glory and keep up with your latest projects.
Okay. I'll make it very easy for people to find me. My handle is the same across the board. It's Accented Glory, which is my brand name. And my website is www.accentedglory.com. And just scroll down to the footer and you can find all my things that I do. My books, my ebooks, everything. Yeah. Is that the footer?
Thank you, Tonya, for sharing your experience, your journey, and some tips with us today. It's really been fun having you on the show today.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself too. I love having this conversation. And I hope I've said something that's going to be something that your listeners can use and put into practice.
Oh, your insights have been great. I'm sure my listeners will be able to take some of those strategies and tips and enhance, or even to enhance their fashion sense. Might help them on their entrepreneurial journey and look really cute at the same time. So I love that. So to our listeners, I really, truly hope that you found this episode as fun and as enlightening as I did. And remember, you can implement any of these insights into your business. Don't hesitate to reach out to Tonya or to myself if you have any further questions or need assistance. I would love for you to stay tuned for more inspiring conversations and actionable tips to ignite your marketing journey and spark your business growth on future episodes of the Spark and Ignite Your Marketing podcast. Until next time, keep sparking and ignite. Wrapping up another episode of Spark and Ignite Marketing. For your weekly dose of inspiration, join our community on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok for behind the scenes and exclusive content. Until next time, keep the spark alive and stay inspired.